Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my spin on the Foxy eye trend. Now, I feel like it's basically a makeup technique or a makeup look that's been around for a long time. I think that, the whole Bella Hadid, this photo really kind of made it more trendy. And I've seen a lot of people are doing it very natural looking, to kind of look like this image and look more like her. But I like to achieve this eye look when I do like a super glammed up look like this. And this tends to be kind of my go-to, glam, smoky, neutral eye look. And I implement the techniques to make my eyes look snatched like that anyway. And I do it with makeup. I don't shave my eyebrows or even redraw the shape of my eyebrows. I don't tape my skin. I don't snatch my ponytail. I don't do any of that. But I do achieve a much more lifted eye look just by using eyeshadow. So I thought that, when I was watching all these videos kind of come up on YouTube, I was thinking, well, how can I contribute to this conversation without any weird stuff, without shaving my eyebrows or doing anything that I wouldn't normally do? And this is what I came up with, and this is literally an eye look I wear all of the time. But I wear it because I want that effect. So I thought, you know what? There's plenty of videos going around right now with a more natural look to this trend. So I thought I'll do a more glam look and implement the techniques to show you guys how to get it with, more eyeshadow. And you can actually substitute any color palette and achieve this exact same look. I opted for neutrals today just to kind of show you the basics. And then if you want to, you could do this with cranberry, greens, blues, like whatever. So yeah, it's just all about light and dark shades. That's it. So if you guys would like to see how I achieve the look and hear my tips and all of the good stuff on how to lift your eyes with makeup and no weird techniques, then keep on watching. Alright, so hopefully this lighting is okay. I'm experimenting, so as we go, some of my videos the lighting might be different. And it's really because I'm trying to use my window, which is right here, but I don't know if you can see, I'm getting like window reflection, like it's lighting up this side of my face a little more than the other side. Because we're in quarantine, what I've decided is I'm going to be dipping into a lot of older palettes. I know a lot of creators are doing that as well. I had an idea for a video because I've been trying like all different palettes that I haven't tried in such a long time. It's kind of interesting because I've rediscovered a lot of stuff in my collection that I was like, oh my god, like this is so good, and I'm getting excited about older products again, which is so interesting and not something that usually happens. So I've been testing out, like every day that I do my makeup, and I have been doing my makeup every day. I think in all of quarantine, there's only been one day that I did not put makeup on. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, because it relaxes me, so it's a stress release. It's enjoyable for me, and like I'll put on music and just like zone out. And the other thing is that it just makes me feel a little bit better about the day. So it just like lifts my spirits. It makes me feel like everything's kind of normal, even though it isn't. So I've been doing that. So every time I put on my makeup, I'm trying to use a different older palette that I have. And at the end of this quarantine, or, in a couple of weeks, whichever, I'm going to rank all of the older palettes that I've tried. So kind of like a mini review of all of the palettes I've tried over the quarantine. For today's video, I'm pulling out the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. I have not used this palette in a while, like a long time. And I feel like a lot of people have this palette. A lot of people bought it. It is really universal because it's got color, it's got neutrals, it's got shimmer, it's got matte. It's got a lot here to work with. So I am going to probably stick to neutrals for the eye look, just so that I can show you kind of the baseline technique and then that I use whenever I want that like super cat eye effect. And then you can really apply it to any color combination you want. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So the basic principle behind, you know, this Foxy eye look, it's the same principle as anything in makeup. It's shadows and light. It's really all it is. So when you want to lift your eye, you want to keep all of the darkness on the outside and all of the lightness on the inside, and that is going to create like a slant this way, like a trick of the eye where your eyes are going up. Now, how much or how little you want to do this is all going to depend on your personal eye shape. Everybody's eyes are different. My eyes are pretty normally set. They're, you know, pretty almond shape. You know, pretty basic. They don't turn down this way. They're not closed set. They're just like normal. So I am going to show you how I do this, and you may need to adjust a little bit based on you. But there are so many different levels of intensity to this, and you can see from other people's videos where they do a very light, smoked out effect that will lift the eye. You don't have to go super light and you don't have to go super dark with it, but I wanted to have my video provide a little bit of a different option than the other videos out there so that you can get this effect in a very glam way. So the first shade that I'm going to, actually I need to prep my lids. I'm just going to use concealer. I have my Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue concealer, and I'm just going to prime my lids because I always do. Alright, so the first color I'm going to use in this palette is this color here called Riff. So the three shades we're going to be using are Riff, Weekender, which is this lighter shade, and Punk, which is this dark brown shade. Those are the three shades we're going to use on the outer part to lift the eye. So I go in with the mid-tone shade first, and what I'll do is I'll press that into the crease, and my lids are starting to hood themselves a little bit because I'm getting a little older, and that's just the way it is. So I am applying it a little bit above my crease. And again, like, that's all going to depend on you and your personal eye shape, if you have hooded lids or not, where you're going to place that crease color. But that's like, you know, eyeshadow 101. It really has nothing to do with, you know, it's nothing new is what I'm saying. So I'm going to just drag it upwards. Everything is going up. So this tends to be my normal eyeshadow technique because I just really like to lift my eyes. It's just like how I like to wear makeup in general, or my eye makeup. And I'm just pressing the color on just like that. Alright, so when I have the color placed, you can see already that it's starting to create a shape. So next I'm going to take my color switch and I'm just cleaning off my brush. And then I'm going into the shade Weekender, and I'm going to use this shade to blend. So I'm just pressing that over the edges of Riff. And I'm just going to be pulling that color all the way in. And that just blends it so nicely without even doing much. That shade kind of, it's such a beautiful like skin color shade. It does a lot of the work for you. I don't know if you can see the difference, and I didn't even really do much, and it just sort of blended everything out. I'm going to go in and deepen up Riff just a little bit after, but I'm going to finish this other side first. Just literally by tapping that color on, it's just blending everything out. I like really forgot how I feel, like how I felt about this palette, because I haven't used it in such a long time. Alright, so I'm going to take the color Riff and I'm just going to run that along my lower lash line about halfway. And I'm just going to connect. Just going to get that out of the way. I tend to like to get my lower lash line started so I can see how everything's kind of coming together. All right, so now I just want to take a clean brush and slightly go over all of the edges. All right, so now we're gonna go into the deeper shade. And I'm gonna take this little pencil brush and I'm going to go into Good as Gone. That's this deep chocolate brown shade. And now I'm going to take it, I'm going to start right like a tiny bit in from where my upper lash line ends. And I'm going to start dragging that upward. Like so. But as I'm doing that, I'm also going to take it into my outer V at the same time. And then I'm going to take the other brush that has Weekender probably still on it. And I'm just going to blend that out. And I'm just going to go back and forth and build that up. But I'm literally keeping this dark color right on the outside. I'm not bringing it in any further. Now, I'm going to take this little pencil brush. Oh, there's two chocolate browns in this palette. There's that one and there's this one. Oh, that one's way darker. Okay. So I'm going to take Good as Gone, that dark brown, and I'm just going to go right in the outer V, like the outer, the lower lash line, and I'm just going to connect it up, but I'm just keeping it out here. I literally want all of the darkness on the outside of the eye. I'm not done with the outer, but we're going to move to the lid part. Do I want to cut the crease? I guess I will. You can or not, but I guess I will just because we're doing like a glam look. Why not? So just half, which is what I tend to do anyway. But again, you're trying to keep all the darkness on the outer part. And I'm going to leave it tacky. And I'm going to take Blaze. And I'm going to wet it. And I'm just going to press it right on top. See, this was the one thing about this shade. It was a little bit disappointing, I remember now. I wanted this shade to give me way more shimmer than it actually did. So I'm just taking that like right to the middle. I'm going to take this shade here, Double Life. This is like my favorite. They have an eyeliner this color, and it's my favorite eyeliner. I always use it in my waterline. Anyway, I'm just going to take a little bit of that, and I'm just going to pop it in between that Blaze shade and the darker shade on the outer corner. I always do this because I just like the look of just like one more color. Just gives it a lot of dimension, and it's just really pretty. All right, so now we're gonna take this black jet, and I'm going to take this tiny little liner brush, and I'm dipping it into the black, but I'm also going to wet it so that I don't have too much fallout. And I'm just going to follow that same line, like where my, like the direction of the bottom of my lash line all the way up to my brow. And I'm just kind of creating a little bit of a wing-ish. But then I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to smudge it. Like so. So see how that black just added a little something extra? It just further lifted things, and I'm only doing it on the outer part. I'm not bringing that black in at all. Like it ends right here. And I'm just smudging it out. So I don't know if you can see the difference that that made. I do have fallout AF, but it's okay because I haven't put my concealer on yet. I just put foundation on, that was it. So we're good to clean all that up later, but hopefully you can see what I did. And you can see what a difference that made. I'm just going to take that black just a hair on the lower lash line, just a tiny bit. This eye versus this eye. You see? So I went, you know, less and less with the darker colors. So the darker the color, the further out I kept it. And that is what's going to give you the lifted look when you're doing like super glam makeup like this. So like if you wanted to do it with cranberry tones, it's the same concept. So you would go with the mid-tone, you know, to start, the lighter shade to blend, the dark shade on the outer, and then like the darkest shade as like a smoky wing. And I mean, you don't have to do the smoky wing, but I think the smoky wing definitely, you know, lifts things even more. It just takes it up even further. And, you know, I'm doing this without weird techniques. I'm not really changing my brow shape. I'm not shaving my brows. I'm not taping my head. I'm not snatching my pony. Like, I'm not doing any of that. I'm just doing this with makeup. So no matter what your brow shape, you know, you can try this technique and it's gonna help lift your eyes. You know, are you gonna get the same result as I got? I mean, it's all dependent on your eye shape. So maybe, maybe not. But whatever your eye shape is, you are going to ultimately lift it. And so I think that's pretty much the point. I'm going to leave things there with the eyes for the moment. And I'm going to finish my face makeup. We're going to come back and I'm going to do lashes and waterline and all that. So I will be right back. Oh my God. It's just been one of those days. Help me. All right, I'm going in with that eyeliner called Double Life, same as that eyeshadow. And I'm just going in the outer quarter of my lower lash line. I am not taking it in any further. Just right there, and that is further going to lift the eye. If you were to put darker liner all the way in, it's going to close the eye up. You don't want that. You want light in here, dark out here. So you can take like a nude liner if you want and put it in the waterline for the rest of it. But you don't have to. I usually don't. I usually just leave that part of my waterline blank. But you can if you want. So anyway, I'm going to be taking these janky ass lashes that I feel like I have one more use out of. I'm just going through my lashes, and if I have any more use out of anything, I'm going to use it so that I can then toss it. These are the Diva lashes from Pure Cosmetics. But typically, when you're doing this, what you want is a lash that's a little bit more fluttery on the end, and you want to try to keep, like, you don't want a lash that's like evenly dispersed or like shorter on both ends and longer in the middle. Like, you really want a lash that has the length at the end so it tapers from short to long. Those are the lashes I prefer generally anyway, because like I said, this eye effect is kind of my go-to. You'll rarely, if ever, see me doing like a rounded eyeshadow look. It's just not what I think looks good on me. All right, so while that lash glue gets a tiny bit tacky, I'm just gonna curl my lashes and add a quick coat of mascara. And I am just using the L'Oreal Bambi mascara. And the idea is I just want to darken them up because I have obviously eyeshadow that has fallen on them. This eye look is super similar to my recent first date eye look. I tend to do this look a lot actually. It's kind of like my go-to like glam eye because I feel like this eye never fails me. Like, never lets me down. Usually I use the Naked Reloaded palette to create this look, but like I said, I'm trying to use other palettes while I'm in quarantine, palettes that I don't use very often or I haven't used in quite a long time. I'm going to concentrate it on the outside of the eye, and I'm going to have it up a little. I tend to do this where I put my lash at the end above my lash line because when you do that, it lifts the eye. So see how like the lash starts right here? I didn't put it all the way in there. And I cut it that way so that it's only concentrating on the outer portion of my eye. So this is basically the final look, and as you can see, my eyes are really angling up and giving you that foxy shape or that cat eye shape where everything is really pointed upwards. And I don't like my lines to be too harsh, so I tend to diffuse them on the edges. Like, I don't know if you can tell, like this isn't super sharp. I don't like it to be. So I will make sure that I kind of diffuse it so that it's soft. Anything too sharp and it doesn't look realistic, in my opinion. I don't like that taped look. So I try to make sure that it doesn't look that way. I'm gonna put my hoops in because that's just how I roll. All right, you guys, so this is the final look, and as you can see, I achieved it without shaving my eyebrows, without drawing my eyebrows straight across, without taping, without snatching my hair, without doing anything weird, just with how I played with the shadows and keeping all of that darkness, like the darkest shades, really close to the lash line, and then fading the colors from dark to light. And that is how you do it. That's how you get your eyes to lift up. And like I said, if your eyes are naturally more round than mine, it may not look exactly like this when you do the technique, but it will definitely look more lifted for your eye shape. I personally am not about like brow change. You know, I don't necessarily think a straight brow would look right on me. It's just not the look for me. I don't know. Oh, we have a visitor. Ugh. What do you think of my foxy eye look? You look like a fox. Are we twins? Twinsies? What's up, buddy? See, I need a haircut, but I can't get one because I'm in quarantine. So that is it for today's video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I hope it helps if you want to do a more glam look, for you to get that foxy eye look. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you never miss when I upload a video. You can follow me on social. My handle's @GlamLatte. And don't forget the Glam Latte Beauty Podcast is on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, CastBox, and iHeartRadio. All those details are in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Can I say bye? Bye. I just wanna hold you. I just wanna look into your